Hey guys, how's it going? Eli here, back with another video where today we're going to be having a conversation on why I think we could potentially see the market bottoming very, very soon. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So as always, getting it out of the way, we're doing our weekly giveaway winners. So for those people who have entered in, of course, for those people who have not, all you have to do is be subscribed to the YouTube channel, leave a like, comment down below. Each and every week on Monday is when we post our winners. We have 3 winners. Each winner will be receiving 8 Brilliant Star booster packs. And since we have videos we post Monday, Wednesday, Friday that you can comment and like, that allows you for multiple entries. And then, like I said before, multiple winners. So multiple ways to win and multiple opportunities. So we're going to announce the 3 winners for this week. It is, drum roll, Tanner Morin, Crute, and then Luis Ramirez. Congratulations to you 3. You 3 are the winners for this week. And as I've mentioned before as well, progressively as we get more and more, subscribers to the YouTube channel, we'll be giving away more and more packs. Next goal, 2,500 subscribers. We'll be giving away grand total of 12 packs, I think is what I said, if I'm correct. So a full booster box. But yeah, we're about 900 away from that. So we're just kind of cruising on by. Things have really blown out of the water. So can't thank you guys enough for that. But now into today's topic. And so I want to have a little bit of a discussion about what I mean by we could potentially find a bottom very, very soon. I want to say about once a month, and this is the last time, we can go back to my YouTube channel, you can take a look. The last time I said, has the bottom been officially in? I said I didn't think the bottom was in. I said that I think a lot of people, about a month ago, were being a little bit too preemptive about Brilliant Star. Now, of course, I do agree with the statement that I do think people are being a little too preemptive with Brilliant Star. I mean, just think about it. We just got a Wave 2 reprint that came out, middle of, if not the back end of last week. And so I know one of my other distributors is just now this week shipping out product for their second wave. So it's one of these things where you haven't really seen the realized drop. Of course, this is my opinion based on what I know from, product being sent out from distributors. I don't think we have seen the true realized drop in the overall card prices. Now, obviously, you can look at it and say from the monthly, well, Eli, going from 170 and then going all the way down to 129, like that's still a decent drop. But when you're talking about a product first initially releasing and versus a product initially releasing and then having a second wave come out shortly after, you're going to see an absolute devastating drop. And this is not really it. I could be wrong, and this could feed into the question of, is the bottom in? But I think that Brilliant Star is kind of going to stand out a little bit differently based on the fact that it is one of those sets that is still relatively new, still in print, so on and so forth. And of course, we're going to still continue to say the same statements for any of the sets that are still going to be in that kind of competitively play format for the rotation, because those ones are more than likely going to still get reprints within the next year or two, and the ones that are in the D era are less likely to get reprints after you've seen kind of the rotation of worlds in August/September. For those people that are, of course, questioning what the rotations are, you can go back. I go in depth in a couple of my videos about it. But going on to my Pokemon cards Google Trends chart, of course, for those people that haven't seen me use this chart, I usually use this chart about once a month, once every couple of weeks, just to kind of look and see where we are in the overall chart. This is really a good indicator of checking demand, since Pokemon is technically not like a traded stock or commodity or so on and so forth. This is actually a really good way to see demand. Now, if you're looking at the overall macro scale, you're looking at the 5-year, you're looking at the 2004 to present, it's not really showing that things are slowing down, right? So you see on this chart, you say 39, nothing's really changed. And this is where we were in March, 46. So technically on an overall macro scale, when you really look at this chart on the higher term timeframes, which of course, each one of these things takes about a month to really show up whenever you look at this. So, high, low, high, low. So on a macro scale, I would say we haven't found our bottom, But more or less from a micro scale, there is an argument to be made that we could be approaching a potential bottom, of course, in the short term or potentially in the long term, based upon really what we see over the next month. And this is why I think this month is actually going to be a really crucial indicator and really telling if we're going to find ourselves a bottom relatively soon. So if we go back to August of 15th through the 21st, because this one goes by weeks, we can see that from a demand scale over time, 100 being the highest, of course, we can see that we were really just pushing absolute maximum demand back during the time of, start of 2021. And then, of course, we saw the demand really start to die out right before Evolving Skies. But, of course, Evolving Skies and Celebrations came in, just really pumped up the hype, and you started to see it go up. But, of course, all we did was set in a lower high. Now, the next thing that we're seeing right now is we are going down, 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 and we're climbing our way down to the last kind of low that we had on the weekly is what we'll call it. So, because it says the past 5 years, but in reality, this is just looking over a weekly time frame, and then the other one is just looking from a monthly time frame. For those people that are traders, it's a really easy way to kind of look at it that way. So we are approaching from, in my personal opinion, what could be considered to be a high level of support. Because if you actually look even going further back to back in November, 42 was the low, 40 was the low, and we're currently sitting at 41. So actually, when looking at just, retests, this seems to be a really strong area in which we find bounces. So if you truly believe that we could be just finding our bottom, we actually on a weekly time frame when looking at the overall Google Trends chart could see this be an absolute bottom, and we could see a potential, lower high being made. Of course, you say the high demand here was about 69. You could see it go all the way up to potentially, around the 56 area, the 60 area. Or if I'm completely wrong on this and, this is just another lower high that's going to lead into more momentum downwards, then at that point, I think we could really just talk about, an argument to retest the breakout of the overall just, bull market trend at the start of COVID. And if that happens, then it really just goes to show you that, with everything going on in the macro trend, this is just going to play an absolute, dumpening in the overall Pokemon market. Now, of course, we've also talked about as well, stocks play a major factor in this because we've seen correlations with stocks and cryptos, and we've seen correlations with cryptos and, commodities, and we've seen also retail space such as Pokemon also having pretty huge impact when it comes to its correlation with Bitcoin too. So everything kind of coexists with each other and what's going on in the world. Now, obviously, there's, a lot of question going around, Ukraine. There's a lot of question going on around inflation, and this is stuff we really talked about. Ukraine, we actually haven't talked about quite a bit, but it's still something that is important to understand that it is going to play a massive factor in the overall, potential prices of Pokemon, because as things start to become more expensive, then it becomes, a little bit, as I've mentioned many times before, harder for people to justify spending money on Pokemon product because it's less money in their pockets. The most important factor, of course, with Ukraine and what's going on in Russia, Russia has a very abundant oil reserve, and the United States purchases a lot of oil from it. We've of course sanctioned Russia, but if we were to go and try and sanction their energy sector, you could potentially see prices in the United States for oil, almost double. I mean, you're seeing this thing happen in, Europe, of course, Germany, which is one of the most green energy countries in the world, went out, sanctioned their overall sector of oil. You saw their prices almost double, if I'm correct, and because of that, they've started to try and push generating their own oil naturally from their country because they don't want to be so reliant. When you see the price of oils go up, that is inevitably going to tie into Pokemon prices. So from a macro trend, if you're looking at that chart, once again, macro events are more than likely going to play into an effect on what's going on. So that is something that's super huge, in my opinion, on what's going to play a factor on if you could see Pokemon prices or demand more specifically, which ties into prices, continue to go down. Another big factor as well that could potentially make an opposite argument. Obviously, recently you've seen everything start to open up. I know New York just officially lifted all of their mandates in regards to, COVID passports so that you no longer are required to be vaccinated in order to go into their restaurants. I know that in a lot of states as well, most mask mandates have lifted. I think there's only about 4 left that haven't been lifted, including my state of Oregon. So, that is going to be an argument that people are going to start going back to normal life. That could be an argument that's going to be good for the economy because there's going to be more jobs. You can make an argument that it's going to be bad for the economy because there's going to be more people coming off unemployment. But I feel like once, kind of the stimulus went away, that argument kind of died. So I would assume it'd be more of a positive. Now, where it'll be really interesting to see, of course, is what's going to happen in the midterms this year. Now, I've talked about this before, and I said this from a very non-biased, non-political perspective, because this is just how history has shown. Typically speaking, if you have the presidency different from the overall House and the Senate majority, or you have a split in the House and the Senate. So basically, let's say one party owns the House, the other party owns the Senate, or let's say one party owns the presidency and the other party owns both the House and the Senate. You typically see a gridlock in the overall market, and so you could see, once again, potential economic boom. I actually talked about this in one of my potential predictors on when you could see a true bottom in the overall market happening, but I want to come back and I want to readdress this because there's been so much that has literally changed, as the news changes literally every 5 minutes in this country and in the world because of everything that's been going with Ukraine and of course with everything that happened with COVID. And still something that is important to address, because hypothetically speaking, it wouldn't be unusual if, we could say we find a bottom right here sometime in March, we go sideways for the next couple of months, midterms roll out in November, you could see potential gridlock happening depending upon the way in which, Congress swings or not. And then from that, you could see a huge boom in 2023. So, because the biggest argument here is not necessarily, for the bottom, is the bottom, going to just immediately allow us to just moonshot everything's going to go up. No, that's not the argument. The argument really is the kind of pitfall dropping that we've been seeing officially over? And like I mentioned before, you're going to have certain variables that are going to play factors for items that are going to continue to drop. And that's mainly just reprints. But of course, you got to look at the general rest of the market. Of course, always as well, PSA is going to play a factor. PSA just recently opened their economy not that long ago. Of course, their economy is $50. For those people that are members, you should be getting emails in regards to it from PSA about their overall $50 waiting room. I think I could potentially pull this up. Let me see if I can actually throw it on the screen. Waiting room PSA. Let's see if it pops up. Of course, it's not going to pop up. And what's the funniest thing too is when I look up PSA, it never pops up every single time. So I guess we'll have to show it a different time. But anyway, you'll have to just take my word on it for that. But yeah, no, I mean, PSA is just saying $50 if you're kind of interested in sending that economy grading. So when you see the prices of them, yeah, and it'll be interesting. It'll be super interesting to see if it all coincides together, because I think, if I'm correct, the CEO came out and announced that they're not going to be caught up realistically until the end of this year, if not the beginning of next year. So it'll be interesting to see if midterms happen, PSA reopens back up again. Then you also, on top of that, see as well, just us going sideways the whole time. Everything could perfectly line up. The stock market no longer has that kind of, fear or, complacency on everything going on. That's typically what happens. Everything likes to line up. But, as far as it stands right now, this is all, of course, speculation. I'll say it as I always say it, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but it is something to address, because if we do look at the overall charts for a lot of the product, we can see chilling rain. Like in the past month, it's really just been going sideways. Like it's just found its bottom. Battle styles, same thing as well. Past month, it's just gone sideways. I think it's found its, that's Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike. Where's Battle Styles? But same argument for Fusion Strike. Battle Styles, I mean, you can make the same argument. It kind of went up a little bit. Obviously, this is on a monthly. If you really want to look at it from a 6-month trend, you can see, yeah, it's just doing the same exact thing. So it's like all these booster boxes that, had their reprints, they're just kind of going sideways at this point, So, and of course, you can say to yourself, Evolving Skies, like Evolving Skies found its bottom. But I think there's going to be a little bit different of an argument in regards to Evolving Skies prices, mainly because the demand for Evolving Skies was so much higher than Chilling Reign and Battle Styles. So reprints are also going to play a factor in this. But of course, if they decide to reprint Chilling Reign and Battle Styles again, which is of course always a possibility because it will not be part of the D-Wave rotation, Shining Fates is going to be the last set that's a part of that. You could also see them reprint that. But Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, I already talked about this in my last video. I think now is not the worst opportunity because all these factors are coinciding with potential bottomings for certain product that are going to go out of print. So, because the main things, and this will be part of the wrap-up, I'm not at the wrap-up point, but this will be a part of the wrap-up, the main kind of three things you're looking at when you're talking about potential bottoms for specific items or whether it be markets. If you're talking general markets, you're looking at what's going on in the macro. If you're talking about potential items, you're looking at are they going to be rotating out of the standard competitive format. And then the third thing you're going to generally be looking at is, okay, what's the grading card companies looking like when it comes to, are they still open? Because, grading card companies are going to have an effect on the PSA value of cards. Obviously, reprints are also going to have an effect on the individual value of cards as well as the booster box value of cards. And then, macro events are going to just have an overall effect on the market. So because the thing about PSA is going to affect more than just Ultra Modern. It's going to also affect sets in the WotC era, in the vintage era, because if they're open and people are still going to be bombarding PSA with a bunch of their older collections at a more affordable price, then that's also going to play a massive effect on the market. So because you saw a huge influx of PSA population reports, which caused a lot of prices to kind of crash. I mean, you saw that the most with Hidden Fates. I kind of beat that horse dead for I want to say back in June, July was really when I talked about it the most. I said September you could see a huge wave, and of course that ended up happening. I mean, this was a while ago, but those are kind of going to be your three main factors when looking at certain bottomings. So I guess the real point that I'm making in this is that you could see a potential floor in a lot of areas, and I think there's going to be opportunities that is going to appear in the market. But you have to understand what is going to play into these three things I just listed. Obviously, we talked about it before with Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze. These sets are about to go out of rotation, so they play to that factor. Evolving Skies still in that rotationary set when it could be potentially reprinted, more than likely going to be reprinted, so it's a different argument. However, Chilling Reign and Battle Styles are both near their bottoms, so you can easily make an argument that, once again, going to eBay, we can just go to eBay and look at eBay prices for Battle Styles, right? I'm pretty certain you can still buy it for Battle Styles booster box. I'm pretty certain you can still buy it for around that 80. Guys, $78. That's crazy how cheap you can buy it for. $78, full case, 36, going for 500. I want to do the math on that. I can't really do it in my head. I know that, of course, 78. It's technically 79, but still, guys, that's crazy. 500 divided by 30, divided by 6 equals, that comes out to 83. Yeah, so 78, 88, $79. Guys, that's incredible value. And, whether you do think Battle Styles is a good investment or not, because obviously we talked about the difference between, opportunity versus, what's going to be in price versus opportunity and percentage gained upside. I still try to diversify everything, because if you see a booster box going for that cheap, that's, that's still something that's hard to pass up on. You're seeing floors in a lot of areas, because I don't think Battle Styles is going to go to $70. And by 70, I mean like literally low 70s. I don't think it's going to go down to $60. I think that then you're having an actual concern in the Pokemon market, because, like I've mentioned before in one of my other videos, when you see bull markets, you see the most underperforming sets are the ones that start to kind of climb up in value. So you don't want Battle Styles to absolutely tank and go to Crimson Invasion level where it was back in the time, unable to sell for around $80 price point, and you saw flash crash price drops going all the way down to $60. So, gosh dang, guys, people are literally just absolutely just, that's insane, man. That is insane. That's all I can tell you on that one. So it just once again really goes to show you what is going on in this current state of the market. So, but yeah, just potential bottoming opportunities. And now, one thing I also did want to mention, we've been going for already 20 minutes. I don't want to go super long on this. But of course, the outlier that is Celebrations product, I'm assuming that we're past the overall Celebrations reprint. I've said before, I think there are opportunities for a product that just was recently reprinted, and a lot of it is still available in stores. So there's an argument to be made with that. But one of the things I did actually want to talk about, and this is a little bit off topic to the bottoming, but it's more of just something I really wanted to say was potentially going to be the best investment, in my personal opinion, going into 2022 until 2023. So if we just go to collection figure boxes, and we go to what happened in 2020. You saw this set come out during the Rebel Clash area. It was Cosmic Eclipse, Rebel Clash, Guardians Rising. Sword and Shield figure collection set. You look at the 1 year on it. I mean, this obviously doesn't really show indicatively of how much it was going from, but this box was selling for around $25 at the time. It's now selling for $107, and the last sale was made, it was a month ago, don't get me wrong, but it's still a set that, I mean, if you look at all the ones that are available, it was the best investment from an ultra modern perspective for the year. What is going to be the next variation of that coming into the year is the Arceus V figure collection, and as you can see with the image, Cosmic Eclipse, Brilliant Star, Chilling Reign. Brilliant Star has been arguably one of the best sets to start off it's the only set to start off the year, so arguably one of the best sets in the Sword and Shield era. It has a Cosmic Eclipse pack. Chilling Reign's fine, but we had Stu, Rebel, Clash. People say Rebel Trash. It's got an amazing figure piece. It's got a really cool Arceus card as well. This was the promo that we used in Japan. It's already pre-selling for such a high price. Because I think it does retail for that $25 price point. So, ultimately speaking, this is, like I said, a little bit off topic to the point of the discussion of have we found the bottom, is the bottom in, but I really just wanted to kind of bring this piece into it, because if we are on the topic of, okay, now looking at items to invest in, like I showed you before on some of the items I listed before, I think this one, whether you want to call it a hot take or not, I think this is going to be the number one item to invest in 2022. Coming out with an item like this, it has everything you want. It has the packs, it has the promo, and it has a really cool figure that people like to collect. And just going off of what happened with the Sword and Shield promo from Rebel Clash, this is just the Arceus version of that. So that's just kind of another item that I really wanted to focus on when talking about just items that you could see a really strong return on long term. So, but we've been going for about 23 minutes now. Want to get the final wrap up. Do I think that the bottom is in for the current Pokemon market? I think there's an argument to be made in the short term, as once again we see right now we have a macro area support around this kind of 41, 40, 42 area of demand. If we break this and we go below it, I want to say if we go to around 37, 36, in my personal opinion, you could really see a free fall happen where we could retrace the whole demand cycle up into before, the COVID breakout. When it comes to, however, does that mean that, now is not a good opportunity to buy certain things? As I've mentioned before, pay attention to the reprints, because that's going to be a good factor. Pay attention to PSA, because that's going to be another factor on if cards are going to be sent in and prices are going to drop. And then pay attention to the rotations. Those are going to be your guys' three biggest factors when kind of talking about, is there a good opportunity? Once again, Vivid Voltage is going to have an Elite Trainer Box reprint coming out this May. You've got a lot of these prices for Fusion, Chilling, and Battle Styles really hitting their bottoms. Vivid and Darkness are going to go out of rotation soon. So I think in regards to opportunities, whether we do find a bottom or not, a lot of these items are going to be finding their bottoms, especially the ones that are going to be going out of rotation in the upcoming competitive format. And then once again, finalizing the main point as well, on looking at one of the best investments, in my personal opinion, of the year is going to be the Arceus V collection box. I'll show that one more time. I mean, I just showed it, but this is for those people that skipped to the just wrapping up point. So collection figure box, once again, making the argument Sword and Shield era went from 25 to 107, arguably one of the best investments for the ultra modern era. And then you have this figure collection that is just as cool. It follows the same format, having also a Cosmic Eclipse pack in it. So, but, let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys think about this topic. I like to do this topic about once a month just to kind of give an update. If you guys think that I should do updates more often, make it weekly, or if you think I should do it, quarterly and not try and do it once a month, then let me know. But I think month to month is a pretty fair kind of time frame, so we can always do a little bit of an update, because when we are looking at the overall macro trend from a monthly perspective on Google Trends, it does update every time a new month is initiated. So for those people, of course, that want to partake into our weekly giveaways, all you have to do is be subscribed to the YouTube channel, leave a like, and comment down below. We post videos each and every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Allows you to enter in multiple times. And then since we also have 3 winners on top of that as well, 3 winners each get 8 of the Brilliant Star booster packs. 3 opportunities to enter, 3 opportunities to win. So many ways and opportunities to win yourself a couple of Brilliant Star packs. But that is all I have for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you guys on Wednesday. Peace.